compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertisement in the Cape May Star and Wave on the Township website and posted on the bulletin boards of Township Hall.
All right, if we could all please rise for the pledge and also a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have roll call, please.
Councilmember Conrad.
Here.
Councilmember Perry.
Here.
Councilmember Roy.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sippel.
Here.
Mayor Simonson.
Here. We're going to start off before we get into the fun stuff like the budget. I'm going to read a proclamation that we have this evening honoring Dr. Carl James Records. For those of you that have lived here a long time, like myself, I remember growing up and Dr. Records' place was right down here on Breakwater Road. I remember him also coming to the house doing the house calls. So I know that many people probably wouldn't remember what house calls are, but anyway, on the anniversary of his 100th birthday, and he is living down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, whereas Dr. Carl James Records served in World War II, June 1944 to November 1946 as a captain, combat medical doctor on the front line in Germany, and whereas, upon returning from war, he and his wife, Alma, moved to Cape May to start their adventure together as practicing physicians and nurse. And whereas, after continuing his practice for many years at Franklin and Sewell Streets, he built his office on Washington Street, and then in 1974 moved the office to Breakwater Road and held his private practice there for 43 years. During this time, Dr. Records was instrumental in delivering over 2,500 babies in Cape May County, and whereas during Dr. Records' years of service and practice, he was known for his over 12,000 house calls, including the birth of his daughter Martha, born right there in his home. And whereas after the passing of his wife Alma, he later married Helen Glazier, who worked at Crest Haven, and whereas Dr. Carl Records held many titles within Cape May County, including Doctor of Cape May High School, which later became Lower Cape May Regional High School, Team Doctor, County Coroner, and County Physician, and whereas Dr. Records was a perfect attendance record holder of the Cape May Rotary for 36 years, a member for 61 years, and a lifetime Paul Harris Fellow, and he was instrumental in the founding of 3 additional Cape May County clubs, 2 located right here in Lower Township. Now, therefore, it is with great pleasure that I, Mayor Eric Simonson, and the Lower Township Council congratulate Dr. Carl James Records on the occasion of his 100th birthday and wish him happiness in all his days to come. And that's from myself and council. I'd also like to mention that Mayor Chuck Lear and his council in Cape May City, and also Mayor Mike Clark and council in Middle Township also sent proclamations since Dr. Records serviced all 3 municipalities during his many, many years of service. So just a thank you out to Dr. Records, and we wish him health and happiness for the remainder of his years. And with that, we move on to what you've all been waiting for, our 2018 budget hearing. So Manager Ridgway, if you would take it away, please.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. We have Leon Costello with us this evening. You've had an opportunity to look at the budget for over a month now, and Leon is here to answer questions or make comments, but as it stands right now, it is a 0%, no increase in this budget. So if council has questions of Lauren, the CFO, who has worked diligently on this, or Leon, now would be the time to do so.
I would just like, I've gone through this, and I actually have, like the percentage itself, 0 questions, but would just like to congratulate everyone on a job well done from top to bottom. It's been a great year with all the projects that have been started and the projects that continue to, some are finishing up, some are getting started, and it's just been a year of getting a lot of things done here in Lower Township that haven't been done in a long time. So I give both of you guys and the rest of our staff here in Town Hall all the credit and appreciate your hard work.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
Lauren, thank you again. Every year I say, is this sustainable? Obviously, this year it's much easier to say when it's a zero, but I see the work you do and all the department heads, and it's a lot of time goes into this. Thank you.
I'd like to echo those comments also. I think it's fantastic that here in 2018 that we can go in with a zero increase to the taxpayers. It's fantastic. A lot of hard work and effort by everybody. Thank you.
I'd like to also echo the sentiments of my fellow councilmen and to say job well done. Thank you.
Well, since I'm going last, you know what I'm to say, right? Okay, great job, and thank you for your hard work, okay? So.
I just wanted to point out that it's a team effort, and I wanted to thank all of you and the staff in my office and all my fellow department heads, the manager, and our auditor, Leon, for all their help and support in compiling this every year. It is a team effort, and I appreciate all the help and support.
Thank you.
So from a procedure standpoint, now you have to open this up to the public for comment, because it is the public hearing tonight.
Yep.
And before you open it to the public, I would like Leon and Lauren to confirm the positioning of our surplus with all the projects that we have taken on and our extensive capital budget coming forward. Would you like to comment on our surplus?
Sure. The surplus is, with everything that's happened, is actually going to be $90,000 better than it was last year. Your surplus is less than half what we're using to fund this budget, so there's no gimmicks in here to get to zero. You are $1.3 million under what you're allowed to raise in taxes. You're $990,000 under what you're allowed to spend. So none of this is smoke and mirrors. It's a real, true, sound financial picture.
And through this, I had an opportunity to ask Lauren questions about budgets that went back a decade ago to 5 years, 6 years ago, and the climate of the township financially. And her response to me was, this is the largest budget in the history of Lower surplus.
Yeah.
Surplus. Yet.
True.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Good.
Well, it's good to know we're in good shape for the future as well. So that's, again, job well done. And at this point, we open it up to the public. If you have any comments or questions. Yes, sir. Mr. Rizzo, please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Thank you, Mayor Simonson. Robert Rizzo, Mickles Run. I have just one question to ask, and that is, how much more money are we bringing in for this budget? In other words, have assessments gone up? We sold more properties to make it good. You have that available?
Sure. Yeah, the assessments went up by $9,178,981. That was an increase from last year to this year. You're assessed at $3,634,439,452 as of January 1. And that additional amount of ratables allowed you to raise $66,175.20 more without affecting any taxpayers.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I thought that was important to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rizzo. Anyone else? I don't think I see any. Oh, we do. Sir.
Mike Rosenberg, 100 Coral Road.
Look, you can raise that if you want.
Yeah, that's all right. What is our actual surplus?
At the end of the year, it was $7,146,359, and we're using $3,002 of that to fund this budget. which is 90,000 better off than last year.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we close the public portion.
Resolution 2018-112, this is the adoption of the 2018 budget.
I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Roy?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sippel?
Yes.
Mayor Simonson?
Yes.
And one other quick note, the governor's done with his budget, and there was no change in state aid. You got exactly what you got last year.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we move down to the consent agenda. Does council have any comments or questions on the consent agenda?
I have none.
I have none.
We let you off easy tonight. You guys earned it. All right, so you get an early evening. All right, we have no council comments or questions. Any public comments or questions on the consent agenda only? Seeing none?
Approval of the minutes from March 5th, 2018, and March 9th, 2018 council meetings. Approval of the closed session minutes from March 5th, 2018. Resolutions number 2018-113 through 2018-124, and ordinance number 2018-06, an ordinance amending ordinance 2013-01, the Police Department of the Code of the Township of Lower, 1975 as amended. This amends Article 1, subsection 90-1. This is the first reading of this ordinance. The second reading and public hearing of this ordinance has been scheduled for Monday, April 9th, 2018.
All right, get a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
I'll second the motion.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Roy?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sippel?
Yes.
Mayor Simonson?
Yes. Move down to the regular agenda.
Ordinance number 2018-03, an ordinance revising and restating Article 1 of Chapter 178, Beaches of the Code of the Township of Lower. This is the second reading and public hearing of this ordinance. This ordinance has been published, posted, and made available to the public.
All right, any questions from council?
No.
No question.
All right, we open it to the public on ordinance 2018-03. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Roy?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sippel?
Yes.
Mayor Simonson?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2018-04. This ordinance amends Article 4, subsection 475-14 of Chapter 475, Parks and Recreation Area of the Code of the Township of Lower, to amend the fee schedule. This is the second reading and public hearing of this ordinance. This ordinance has been published, posted, and made available to the public.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from council?
No comment.
None? All right, we open it to the public on ordinance 2018-04. Seeing none, close the public portion. I get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second motion.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Roy?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sippel?
Yes.
Mayor Simonson?
Yes.
Ordinance 2018-05. This is a bond ordinance amending and supplementing bond ordinance number 2015-10, finally adopted by the Township Council on October 19th, 2015, as previously amended and supplemented to increase the appropriation therein by $4,200,000 and to increase the authorization of bonds or notes therein by $3,990,000 to finance part of the additional cost thereof. This is the second reading and public hearing of this ordinance. This ordinance has been published, posted, and made available to the public.
All right, council, any questions, comments?
No comment.
None? We open it to the public. Anybody? No? All right, we close that portion, and I need a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Roy?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sippel?
Yes.
Mayor Simonson?
Yes. All right. We move down to council comments.
Manager.
Oh, I'm sorry, manager's report. Take it away, Mr. Ridgway.
Gentlemen, I have a few items to bring up tonight, and I'm going to start with a phone call, a subsequent phone call that I received today. Last week, I received a call from the new governor's office that we have been selected as one of 3 opportunity zones in South Jersey. And this was an initiative that was put forth by Senator Booker, and I've been trying to get the information for a week, and I talked to the state again on Friday, emailed them Sunday, and they got back to me early this morning that they had received our choice for a census tract, which will include the airport. I'm really looking forward to this. Met with our tax assessor today, as well as our special tax attorney, because there's implications here to drive business to Lower Township. This program will be explained further in the future, and Jim Rotella is here tonight from Rotella Associates, and we'll be discussing this going forward. But I actually received the map today from the governor's office about this, and this could really be big for Lower Township and bringing businesses here with federal government tax relief. Secondly, 6 to 7 weeks ago, we met with the state as they've been dredging out behind Lucky Bones and Spicer's Creek and that whole area, and the dredged sands from there have been moving their way down the canal near the West Cape May Bridge. Well, that project started this morning to get those dredged sands out of there, and it's an extensive project. And although it's the county and state, I wanted you to be aware of this because this is going to go on for 5 weeks. Those trucks are going to be rolling down Seashore Road to Sunset Boulevard and down to where the Magnus site used to be, and they have a road built in, and that's where it's all going to end up. But there's going to be a lot of heavy industrial traffic Monday to Friday, 9 to 4 every day. So if you get a call on that, you know we are aware of it. But again, this isn't Lower Township's roads. It's county and state. I also wanted you to know that Atlantic Electric did a presentation here last week, and I came away from this with 2 things that I think are substantial to all your constituents. One, if any of our people in the township are having or struggling in paying their electric bills, they have a program called Helping Hands. It's an active program, but you must notify them before they shut your electric off, because if you don't, then it's very difficult and you end up paying so much more with deposits, et cetera. But in this program, you could spread payments out over time and they'll work with you. And I think this is good stuff. We're going to get this out. I'm working with Ronnie Town to get a press release that we can put out to our taxpayers, along with, they also have a program where if any business increases their business size 20% or hires an additional employee, they are eligible for a 25% reduction, that business, on their electric bills for 5 years. So there's an incentive for any of these businesses to expand, and we all know about electric bills. So Ronnie did a great job, and we've learned just in the past 4 or 5 years the difference with Atlantic Electric now that on your telephone. You can put the app on there. You can see if they're out. If they're on your street, you can see approximate time that your power will come back on. The efficiency now with technology is outstanding. And our capital plan, which you all have been asking about, you received from Mott McDonald the report. That report is extensive. Gary Douglas, myself, will be working into that and presenting to you in the next 2 weeks what we think our objectives should be in handling our worst roads in the township going into 18. And I'll be open to discussion as you look at your particular streets, so we can talk about that. And one thing that I don't mention enough, but next month is Police Appreciation Month. And yesterday here, in going over February's police report, I would like to say hats off, because it's the middle of the winter, and our police department had 2,667 calls in February. Our police are busy, gentlemen, and they're working hard, and I just wanted you to know the breakdown, which I'm not going to go into those things because of confidentiality, but they're out there doing the job. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Move down. How about our engineers report, or is that Mr. Stray's here? Yep.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have 4 projects to update you on this evening. The first is Roseanne Avenue. We've completed the modifications to the contract plans and specifications, and the project will be advertised this Wednesday. We expect to receive bids on April 25th, and we're anticipating an award the first meeting in May. Second project is Beach Drive. As of March 14th, the contractor has continued work on clearing and grading, curb and sidewalk installation at the north end of the project down to Emerson, dune planting, and has completed a majority of the stormwater improvements. Atlantic City Electric and Comcast should have their work completed by the end of this week, and Verizon has begun their utility relocation work, and we are waiting for a schedule update from their engineer. Third, the DOT municipal aid application that was submitted. The township did receive a $175,000 grant for the reconstruction of Georgia Avenue, Alabama Avenue, and Main Street. And finally, as the manager mentioned, the roadway evaluation report was completed and submitted to the manager and Public Works, and we're waiting for them to review it, provide input on that, and then we will be finalizing that report for council.
Appreciate
That's
it.
all I have this evening.
Thank you.
Very good. Questions?
Hey, Mr. Stray, I do have a couple of questions. The additional groundwater sampling, when will the results be back for that?
The groundwater sampling was done last Monday and Tuesday. We did get the raw sample results today, and the initial results indicated the same type of metal concentrations that we found in the first test well. So nothing new, basically just more consistent with what we had already found. So we have a pretty good idea now of what the contractor will encounter throughout the pipeline, throughout the length of the project.
Okay, as far as the reconstruction of Georgia Avenue, Alabama, and Main Street, when's that going to start approximately? Do we have a date on that as far as the paving of those streets?
We're actually, in closed session tonight, going to be discussing that project along with a couple situations that has to do with that, and I will be able to update you. I'm looking for direction from council on a couple things there.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else?
No.
All right, we move down. Do we have any administrative reports? Jim? We're good? Go to council comments?
Go right to council.
Well, as the weather's gotten better, I've been doing a lot of walking, mainly for my back, but it's also nice just to walk down different streets see what the conditions are, how the homes are holding up, how the streets are. There's a couple streets I know I want to be towards the top of the list. I'm walking all throughout the villas. It's, believe it or not, 5.5 miles from my house, Town Hall, to Millman Center and back. And that's cutting down a couple different streets. If you have a problem, let me know. I've walked to one place at night just to check out the lighting issues. Our last meeting, right afterwards, I got word that we have a new Eagle Scout in the township, actually from the Villas, Josh Kampmeyer. We'll have him here at a later date, but I want to send out congratulations to him. He worked very hard. I know that because I've been with him almost every step. I also want to do a quick shout out to my wife. We just had our 29th wedding anniversary, and she's been putting up with me being up here for quite a few years now. And that includes some of the people coming to the house and the different phone calls. And there's one other project we didn't really touch on, but we are looking to move forward on, and that's we want to extend the beach access ways. There's some private property and some other areas that we do want to get these beach access ways on. We're just trying to work out how we can legally and safely do it. There's a liability issue and that type of thing, but we do want to get more beach access throughout the township.
I'll try to be brief. First thing is, being as Tom was just talking about beach access in the township, there was 3 that are up on Bay Drive in the Bayside Village area that are right-of-ways to the beach, and they are township access to our beach. They were not included in the prior ones that we had done last year, and I spoke to Mr. Ridgway, and those 3 will be added. One needs some major clearing, and the other 2 just need to get tidied up and steps fixed, things of that nature. But they are going to be added to the beach maintenance permit so that we can go ahead and do that sometime, hopefully this year. It takes care of that. Roseanne Avenue, as you just heard during the meeting, we passed the bond ordinance to have the rest of the funding that we're going to need to have this thing go out to bid and hopefully be awarded this time and get started right away. I do believe, according to the engineer's report, that if things all go well, notice to proceed for the successful bidder, if this goes in a timely fashion, will be May 21st. So anytime after that, they can get started on a project. So hopefully this bid that goes out will be awarded to a contractor so we can get started on that project. As I said before, we were not going to kick the can down the road anymore. This project is going to go forward. And hopefully people back there will get some relief sometime in the not-too-distant future. The other thing, the Beach Drive project is moving right along. A lot of concrete's been poured up there as far as sidewalk and curbing goes. There were some questions about handicap accessibility areas, and that was pretty self-explanatory where they're at, and that question was answered. The other thing, I understand, Mr. Ridgway, you got a notice from Open Space today?
Yes.
Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit, please?
I received a package this afternoon, and we applied for open space funding last year for that beach project, and this is dated March 15th. It's our agreement with the county, the shared service agreement, and it states that we will be receiving $993,000 in open space funds towards the pedestrian safety project. Again, council, I just received this package this afternoon on my desk, so there's some things we have to do to finalize this as we're moving forward as part of the shared service with the county, but we certainly appreciate that from the freeholders.
I think it's really a team effort here in Lower Township and with the county to work together to try to bring basically the cost to the taxpayer down in that project up there. And we're looking at probably about a third of what we expected the project to cost is what will actually be spent by the taxpayers here.
It's correct.
So that project, with a lot of hard work from people here in the county, again, we've been able to bring the cost of that project down. So hard work does pay off.
Mayor, on the same topic with this, although we're not voting for it tonight, all council has received from the clerk our new lease agreement with the county that our attorney, Mr. Stefankiewicz, is with Rob Belasco, have been working with the county's new attorney, and a couple of you have reviewed it. You've asked questions about it. It looks good. It's been an enormous amount of work, and even though the police now are in their new headquarters, the detectives are in their headquarters, the court is being renovated now. Like this is all happening in the last 3-4 days because the detectives had to move back. So we anticipate fire safety, the court, as well as our rescue squad to be operating and up and running there in the next couple of weeks. But there's still communication things that have to happen to finalize, but we are happy with this agreement.
Well, along with that, and I'll just jump in here with that, is, something that's been talked about for a long time, but I know that the New Jersey Transit has gotten back in touch with us. I'll be meeting with Freeholder Maury and also Dale Foster before we meet with New Jersey Transit, but the hopes are, and I'm sure it will come to fruition, that we are going to have public transportation coming to the airport. And I'm telling you that's going to happen. So I know there were people up here that in the past that sat and complained that we never had public transportation back there, but never did anything about it. So we're doing something about it. We're going to have it. And with that, I move on to Councilman Roy.
Okay, thank you. I just want to put out there, May 20th has been reserved a date for the beach cleanup along Beach Drive from 10 to 12. I was in contact with Linda Thomas, the Department of Public Works coordinator, who has assured me that she will cooperate to the fullest by providing the safety equipment necessary, the bags, and the trash pickup upon collection the day after. I will have further information as it becomes available, and if things should change, we'll also make note of that as well. Also, I have 2 public service announcements that were put out as press releases by the Township regarding this coming Saturday, March 24th at 10 p.m. on the grounds of the Freeman Douglas Memorial Park. They're going to have a Easter egg hunt for the toddlers. If they arrive 1/2 hour before the Easter egg hunt, along with music, they will have a visit from the Easter Bunny. And they've established a rain date for Sunday, March 25th at 1 p.m. Secondly, the after prom party for the Lower Township Regional School is having a fundraiser also on March 24th at the Lower Cape May Regional High School from 9 to 3 p.m. Tickets for tables are $20. There is also a table for donated items, and admission to the public is free. So if you're available, have children, or want to go to a yard sale, you'd be more than welcome to do so. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, my turn. I do have a couple things to put out. Last week, council and the manager, the chief of police, and the judge had a meeting in reference to our public advocate that'll be working in our courtroom starting April 10th. It was a great meeting. I think it's a big win for Lower Township. Currently, Wildwood and Middle pay for their court advocate. Actually, public advocate working in the courtroom, we received a grant, so there'll be no cost to Lower Township taxpayers for this service. The good thing is that, when folks go to court and they have a drug-related charge, and if it's a serious charge, they're actually sent to Superior Court, which they have a drug court up there, which are actually changing the name to Recovery Court pretty soon. But when it's a minor offense, it's in our court. There's not many actually resources the judge can use to help these individuals out. So this public advocate is a big win. I'm going to work with the judge and try to steer our residents down the right path for some help. And in addition to those coming to court, It's actually open to the public, so if you anybody out there in the township and they're talking to you about their son, daughter, or brother having a substance abuse problem, they actually can just walk in the courtroom that day and talk to the advocate. They don't have to go in front of the judge. It's all anonymous, okay, so it's a good thing. That starts April 10th in our courtroom. The other thing that the manager talked about, the police department, and actually they do a great job for the township, and council's been full support of our police department. Like the manager mentioned, we have a new facility over here, a new building they're going into, brand-new furniture. We're looking to purchase some 700 megahertz radios for them. They do a great job for us. They worked the youth camp last year, and they're working it this year, so I think my hat's off to the police department. They did a great job in Lower Township, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Great. On top of the drug advocate court for the courts, I just want to thank some of the organizations that we've been working with recently, such as Cape Counseling, Youth-Based Services, and we have a Cape Alliance through a grant, which also consists of several students from the local high school that give their input into the opioid epidemic and addiction and other things. So it's good to get the point of view of the younger people, and all those organizations, we work together, and this is truly a great thing that'll be coming to Lower, having an advocate right in the courts, especially when they don't have to go in front of the judge to do it. They can keep some in a minute, be anonymous, and take care of their problems. With that, I move down to a couple things. It's just great to see that our streets are, the county has gotten started on some of them, but we still have a list that we've been talking to them about that are on the radar for the near future. Some major roads that are going to be resurfaced and paved in Lower Township, along with our own township roads. So it's great to see with some of the grant money that we've got. I also wanted to make a point that this budget wouldn't be possible without shared services, and we talk a lot about shared services, but we actually at this point in time have shared services with Cape May County itself, our MUA, which always pitches in and helps out, and is also doing a great job keeping the rates the lowest in the state of New Jersey while giving us the best services in New Jersey. We also have shared services with Wildwood Crest, Middle Township, West Cape May, and Cape May City, all different types of shared services that save our municipality as well as ours hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Also, our fire districts pitch in. They do a great job. And, of course, our grants. We talked about open space and Department of Transportation. So moving forward, that's the way to go. We want to spend their money and not your money. And we want to make Lower Township better than it is. And we feel that we've done that this year. We're going to continue to do it as these projects move forward. And, we better our community. So also with that, with recreation, we have a record number of youth out for youth lacrosse this year. That just got started last week. I know all the youth teams for the township played their first games this past Saturday. And we also have Little League softball and baseball. Opening day for Little League, which is always a great time, over behind Mitnick School. It's an all-day festival. They have all kinds of stuff for the kids, food, and games going on from 9 in the morning until 9 at night. So you get a chance to stop over there. That's on April 14th. And I don't have the rain date, but they usually try to get it in no matter what. So that's on April 14th. And last but not least, I can't forget that our next meeting is Monday, April 9th. So please make a note. It is a week later in April due to the Easter. And again, Monday, April 9th, which I got right here. Monday, April 9th is our next meeting. And with that, we open it to the public for any questions or comments. Again, I just ask that you state your name and address for the record. Thank you. Anybody? Yes, Miss Judy. How are you?
I'm fine. I just have one question. Did we change the date for the beach cleanup?
Yes.
We did?
Yes.
Because she forgot to call me.
Okay.
'Cause
We had-
I've had several phone calls, and I've been telling them Mother's Day weekend.
Well, we tentatively scheduled it for the 20th. And if things should change, I'll definitely be happy to report back to the floor and
Okay.
give you the update.
I'm going to bring my mom, though. She'll pitch in. She loves it.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sir?
Ray Flickinger, Washington Boulevard, North Cape May. Again, this is thanks. I know what you went through to get that money for the open space, and just like you were speaking a few minutes ago about the shared services and saving money, this is a great savings for, say, close to $1 million for the taxpayers. It would be nice that the people that were opposing it at the time, which I know you went through a lot through this whole project, they would get on board and work together, because I believe that money's out there. It's out there in the county. Why not go get it for Lower Township, you know? Get a little bit of our fair share. We all pay for it throughout the county instead of just going to upper and middle townships. But thanks a lot, Jim, for leading the way, Dave, Mayor, all council for supporting it. Thanks again from the taxpayers.
Thank you. You're welcome. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Sally Yerk from Roseanne Avenue. I just have to ask, now, if everything passes and falls into place in May with Roseanne Avenue, what do we see for a timeline now? I mean, it's very nice that no one is speeding down our street anymore. No one flies down it, but it's really difficult to get in and out. So what do we see with a timeline? What is the best options that we look at, Mr. Ridgway?
Mark?
It'll be a one-year project. So it'll go from May 2018.
If everything falls into place from May?
Correct.
Okay,
May to May.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes?
I just want to say thank you to LCMR High School. We went out this weekend to see the play they did, Shrek, and it was phenomenal. We had such a good time and just laughed the entire evening. The students did such a good job, and I just want to say thank you to them.
They did, and I forgot about that. I was there Saturday, and it was wonderful. And with that, you reminded me of something else, that April is Autism Awareness Month, too. So I've already talked to Jason Pacheco, who is our spokesperson here at the Township for autism, and we'll try to I'll see if he's available for the next meeting. If not, we'll do the second meeting in April, but we'll try to get him here for the first meeting.
Back-to-back,
Yep.
the 9th and the 16th.
So I'm sure he will be available for one of those. I've been assured that he will be here to speak to us, and we always appreciate it. Anyone else? Seeing none, we close the public portion.
Resolution number 2018-125, a resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12. This is to discuss possible professional service agreements and an attorney-client privilege item.
All right, have a motion to go into closed session.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Roy?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sippel?
Yes.
Mayor Simonson?
Yes.